let's talk about the working related emotions. People say, well, this is used with teachers a lot. Why are you a teacher? Well, it's like a calling for me. I feel that I feel that it was just it was destined for me to end up doing this. And I don't know, destiny is a little bit like leaving things up to other people sometimes. Um, but calling is either driven. You're either driven by the fact you actually really do love something and it's a very pleasurable experience to you, or that you're aware of people's suffering and you want to help them in a certain way. And it's a mixture of all those elements together. It's the pleasure and the pain. It's understanding the pleasure and the pain, and that you can be driven by pleasure as something you want to go towards, or you can be driven away from pain as something that's in the past. And when people say that their work is their calling, it suggests to me that it's a very emotionally driven experience, and it might be your calling. But my question is, do other people want it to be your calling? Because if it's your calling, that means
Mhm.
in essence, you're doing it for you,
Mhm.
not for others. A calling can help others, but if it's your calling and you think it's your calling, you're doing it for you because you believe it's your calling. It's your belief.
Yeah.
It might not have any positive effect at all. It's different for different people. So,
On others.
yeah, I think it's in this kind of situation, it's very important to listen to in work the client in the situation. If the client believes it's your calling, then maybe you can call it that. But too many
Mhm.
people believe that they believe, well, it was just the thing that I was destined to do. It's like, well, no, that's giving up power and control, I think, a lot of the time. Um, or just not looking at the facts that it was a natural progression. A led to B, led to C, led to D. It's just natural. It's a natural way. Um, People working too much, common problem
Mhm.
in the modern world in some areas. Just as much a problem as people working too little sometimes. Um, mm, the nature of people and cultures. What are you what are you running from? What are you living for? If you're working too much, you are a lot of the time. Now, doesn't have to be negative. Like working too much doesn't have to. You could just love what you do and spend most of your time doing it. That's great. Um, you could love skiing and be a ski instructor, and why not? So it works for some people. Um, but there's also a question of if people are working too much. In my experience, they're hiding something.
Mhm.
The work, filling their mind with work means they don't have to think about something else. Spending too many hours in the office is symbolic of the fact that they need to think about something else, but they're not doing it. They're not thinking about the things they need to do. They fill their mind with what's easiest. It's very easy to fill your mind with work. There's always more work that you can do. There's
Mhm.
always more. It never ends. That's the whole point about work, is it never seems to end. I mean, you finish one task, you go on to the next task. Um, so people are hiding things, I think, if they're working too much. And if they're working too little, they're obviously disinterested and um, or unable to focus because something else is blocking them. They have a block. Um, because working too little doesn't help anybody in the office, right? Because other people have to do more work. If someone does less, other people have to do more to cover that. So it's a block. And you were talking about the person in the school. If they're not contributing in the right way, then other people have to contribute more, and it's not fun after a while that you keep having to give more than other people. It doesn't create the right kind of environment. Yeah. What if by being around other children, you're trying to relive the childhood that you didn't have with your own family because you were unhappy?
Oh God. Giving others what
Yep.
I wanted.
Yep. You're not. It's not a calling. It's a repairing.
Mm-hmm.
Or an attempt to protect others from the same fate.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you have, I don't know, I'm just theorizing, maybe you have an ability to recognize similar emotional experiences in other children, and therefore, when or if you see it or feel it, you wish to protect them from that negativity by showing them there's a better way.
Mm-hmm.
There's another way. And that's actually, that's confusingly a really good thing. Because only those who have been through the experience can recognize the problem.
All right.
And so only those who have been through the experience can help other people who don't even know what they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
And that is symbolic with being more comfortable in the presence of other children than with your brother or people in your own family. Where your childhood was seeking comfort in enjoyment and fun with others outside of your family. And as long as that psychological pattern repeats itself, you don't fully grow.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't have your own family, because you sabotage all of your relationships so that you don't have your own family.
Yes.
And it's not your fault, because it's just your brain programming, following the program that it knows. It's just you've been given this program about how things work and what I need to do to survive. And as long as you continue to run the same program, this cycle and pattern will, in one form or another, repeat until it's broken. Probably by some forceful semi-dramatic change. By forceful, I mean conscious.
Mm-hmm.
By making that hammer down decision that I'm aware of this and I'm aware enough to not let it repeat in a negative way. Because we can't, none of us can rewrite the past. So
No.
it's pointless. It's wasted energy, right? It's just wasted energy, right? It's like trying to, like you played the game yesterday and you lost. Well, fucking forget it, right? Because you lost. Let's focus on the next game, right? Yeah, because the next game is whatever you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
So you are sensitive to other people in the room who drain your energy because that's how you grow up. aware or developing an awareness that there were other people who drained your energy that you needed to keep your distance from. Other people will not have that sensitivity. They will not understand. They won't feel that.
Mhm.
It's a protective mechanism within the self.
Mhm.
Maybe everybody recognizes what is happening, but probably everybody feels slightly different about
Mhm.
that. Um, um, but it depends. It depends on the people and their experiences. We relate most to those who can relate to us. But I think that maybe because of where you are and what you're doing, you have already made several conscious decisions in that way. You'd be like, okay, this is not working, I got to do this. This is not working, I got to do this. Um, but perhaps it's a series of events, so the dominoes connected to each other, where you know it's not gonna. It's a process of breaking things piece by piece, uh, in order to understand it. Um, and yeah, I can I can see that your brain is thinking about that. So
Mhm.
um, moving on. Uh,
Yeah.
moving on.